Darkseid is one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe, and he's ready to make his presence known in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But what makes him so powerful? What are his motivations? And why does it take the entire might of the Justice League to stand a chance against him? Let's find out as we take a look at the history of Darkseid.
That is who I am. And when the time comes, you and this primitive planet will swear allegiance to Darkseid, or you will be destroyed.
Darkseid's first canonical appearance was a cameo in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 134, with his first full appearance being in Forever People number 1. Darkseid was designed by the legendary Jack Kirby, and was set up to be the main villain of his Fourth World epic, which goes into the character's origin in detail. After the world of old gods was destroyed, the age of the new gods came about, as two planets were formed: New Genesis, which was given the strength and nobility of the living atoms of the old god Baldur, and Apocalypse, a hellish world saturated with evil from an unknown sorceress. These two planets are locked in an eternal conflict, yin and yang, good and evil on a mythic scale. The people of New Genesis are led by the kind and fair Highfather, while the suffering people of Apocalypse are ruled over by Darkseid. However, it was not always this way. Long ago, there was a prince named Uxas, who plotted to seize control over Apocalypse. He was the second-born son of King Yuga Khan and Queen Hegra, and therefore the second in line to the throne behind his brother Drax. When Drax attempted to claim the Omega Force, Uxas murdered him and claimed the power for himself. As his skin began to turn to stone, Uxas was gone, and he rechristened himself Darkseid. Darkseid is ruthless, cunning, and highly intelligent, having started the great conflict between Apocalypse and New Genesis, as he manipulated his uncle Steppenwolf into raiding New Genesis. Steppenwolf was fooled into killing Highfather's wife Avia, while intentionally leaving him alive, knowing that Isaiah, the being that would become Highfather, would seek revenge, and thus the feud began. Even a being as powerful as Darkseid is vulnerable to a force as powerful as love, as he fell for an apocalyptic scientist and sorceress named Suli. He would go on to have a child with her, his firstborn son, Kalibak. Darkseid's love would not last long, as Queen Hegra ordered Desaad to poison Suli out of fear that she was poisoning her son's mind. Following this tragedy, Darkseid's heart hardened like his skin, as tensions grew between him and his mother. This disdain would intensify when she forced him to marry a woman named Tigra, who would give him another son, Orion. Looking to complete his goal, Darkseid had Desaad poison his mother Hegra for killing the woman he loved, finally allowing him to become the supreme monarch of Apocalypse. Darkseid attempted to have Orion killed, but he later decided to trade him with Highfather's son scot-free as a peace treaty between New Genesis and Apocalypse. On New Genesis, Orion was treated with love and respect, and became one of the planet's greatest warriors, protecting the ideals of his adoptive parent while opposing Darkseid. A prophecy actually foretold that Orion would defeat Darkseid in a cataclysmic battle between father and son. Scot-free, on the other hand, was tortured during his upbringing by his adopted father Darkseid and his minion Granny Goodness, all in an attempt to break Scott. He proved resilient, however, and Scott's spirit remained unbroken, as he eventually escaped Apocalypse with the mightiest of the female Furies, Big Barda. He and Barda would go to Earth to live free, and Scott would become the hero, Mr. Miracle. However, this was all part of Darkseid's plan, as he used Scott's escape to break the treaty with New Genesis, which reignited the conflict between the planets. Darkseid would eventually make his presence known on Earth when he invaded the secret island of Themyscira, looking for the Olympian deities to overthrow them and steal their power. The Amazons would battle Darkseid and his parademons, refusing to aid him in his quest, which led to the death of half of the Amazon population. Darkseid is insanely powerful. As one of the new gods, he has numerous abilities, including immense super strength, telepathy, telekinesis, the ability to create psionic avatars, superhuman intellect, the ability to change his density and mass, and he is essentially immortal. However, the most famous of Darkseid's abilities is his dreaded Omega beams, intense forms of heated energy derived from the Omega effect that are capable of disintegrating beings. Nearly no one can take a direct hit from the Omega beams and survive, one of the rare few being Superman, who still suffers tremendous pain when hit with them. Another ability of Darkseid derived from the Omega effect is the Omega Sanction, the death that is life. It traps the inflicted individual in an endless succession of synthetic lives, each one more degrading and hopeless than the last. For a being so powerful, Darkseid is obsessed with taking power away from others. Darkseid's main purpose is to find the anti-life equation, a mysterious formula that allows total control over the minds of sentient beings. Various sources depict the anti-life equation differently, but it is generally depicted as a mathematical proof of the futility of living, making any being under its influence certain that life, hope, and freedom are pointless, and they would conform to Darkseid's will. This obsession with the anti-life equation would lead Darkseid to take a special interest in Earth, as he believed humans possess fragments of the anti-life equation in their minds. Darkseid intended to probe the minds of every human in order to piece together the equation. He used his minions to do this, mainly Glorious Godfrey, who had the ability to control beings with his voice. Darkseid eventually takes matters into his own hands, leading him into conflict with many of the heroes of the DC universe, mainly the Man of Steel himself, Superman. In the 2005 Mr. Miracle Limited series, it was revealed that Darkseid had discovered the anti-life equation, using it to destroy the Fourth World entirely. This forced the New Gods to flee to Earth, where they hid their identities. Darkseid himself was now an evil gang leader, only referred to as Boss Darkseid, spelled Darkseid, not Darkseid. How he ended up like this would be explained in Final Crisis, an event in DC Comics that saw Darkseid and his new herald Libra begin to take over Earth and corrupt the multiverse. Darkseid fulfilled the prophecy and fell to his son Orion, only for his life essence to endure and fall back in time, where he was reborn as Boss Darkseid, using the detective Dan Turpin as his new host body to successfully release the anti-life equation and take over Earth. He also fires a magic radion bullet into the past that kills Orion at the beginning of the story, only to be shot with the same magic bullet by Batman, which led to him getting radion poison. Barry Allen is also resurrected and races with Wally West against the Black Racer, who is like a Grim Reaper on skis, and Superman builds a miracle machine. Yes, Final Crisis is that weird. And too dense to cover in full here, but if you are interested, you should absolutely check it out. This event is the last time we see Darkseid before the DC Universe was rebooted into the New 52 in 2011. The Darkseid that appears in the New 52 is similar to the one that came before, with the change to his origin and the introduction of a daughter named Grail. In this universe, Darkseid himself is responsible for the formation of the Justice League, as the presence of his parademons brings the heroes into contact with each other. And one of his mother box exploding is part of the new origin story for Victor Stone, aka Cyborg. Darkseid himself appears in issue number 4 of the series as the first villain the group faces together. In Darkseid number 1, his new origin is revealed. In this continuity, he was a farmer named Euxis, who hated the deities of his world. He traveled to their mountain while they slept, and tricked them all into fighting each other. All of them were weakened by battle, which allowed Euxis to take a scythe and kill them, stealing their power in the process. He then destroyed his world and created Apocalypse. The next major appearance of Darkseid would be in the Darkseid War, an event that took place in the Justice League comic series that saw Darkseid come into conflict with the Anti-Monitor. Darkseid's daughter Grail leads the Anti-Monitor Darkseid, and at the end of the event, Darkseid is killed. However, Grail would resurrect Darkseid in a crazy comic book way that involved the anti-life equation in hopes of teaching him differently. Darkseid continues to appear as a little baby for a while until he matures into a terrifying toddler. He and Grail begin to hunt and drain the life force of Zeus's demigod children, killing several of them and allowing Darkseid to grow into a scary child. This was all part of Darkseid's plan to lure out Zeus and drain his life force, which he eventually does, allowing Darkseid to be restored to his original form. Who knows what the future holds next for Darkseid, but one thing is for sure. Wherever there is a DC universe that exists, there will be a Darkseid, waiting, preparing to make his presence known. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and let me know in the comments what profiles you want to see next. Make sure to smash the like button, and until next time guys, I'll see you later.